Hey guys, so this is a video from Rich Cooper, and he's actually going to explain how to gain respect from women by doing something that's totally opposite of what you would normally think. So without further ado, let's get.
Very fucking clear to you guys. Just because somebody demands something of you, a woman specifically, and because you love her and you care for her and you want to make her happy, because why wouldn't you? You love this woman. She's beautiful. She's kind to you. They always are, like early on. The question is whether or not you can get that over 10 or 20 years of your life with her. She's beautiful. She's kind. She's sweet. She does all that shit that you like upstairs, sort of stuff. But you will more often than not get punished over the long term, giving her more, getting less in return, giving her exactly what she wants. Not living with her gives you an element of frame control that you cannot exercise living with a woman.
This is such a powerful point. And unfortunately, guys, I'm going to be doing a lot of pausing in this video because he makes, and I typically don't do this, but he makes such a great point. Such a great point right here. There is something about living with a woman that turns them off. I don't know what it is about being in the presence constantly of a woman and being predictable that turns them off, but he's going to make such a great point.
She misbehaves, she throws a tantrum, has a hissy fit. You're talking to her. You spin around 180 degrees in that direction, and then you proceed to walk that way to your house. Or you just open the door and say, you can leave now, and she can leave your house, sort of thing. You're going to have to be a little bit of an asshole when it comes to your relationships with chicks. Guys, I wish buying her chocolates and flowers and taking her dancing to the fucking, the dance club. I wish being polite to her and opening her car door and telling her she looks pretty in that fucking dress, even though she's fat. I wish that all of these things that we've been told to do for women actually worked on women. But they don't. They don't. And that's how you end up in a situation like in this, 3-minute, 55-second scene between Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston.
Here's the slight delineation I'm going to make, right? They don't work on women now. They did work on women back then, in the 70s and the 80s, and even in the early 90s. But as soon as what's the time period? As soon as R. Kelly hit the scene, the Jodicees of the world, Tupac, that's when things really started to change. That's where love started to die, where you started looking corny. If you expressed love to a woman, if you bought her flowers and roses and all that good stuff, that's when things really started to die, right? So they don't work on women now, but they did back then.
Aniston from the breakup. Most guys will get there. Most guys that think that, I can save her. I know something. Even I read Rich's book or I watched 2 of his fucking videos or something like that, and I get it now. No, you too will probably get fucked like that later on down the road. I'm sorry to tell you this. If you're going to deal with chicks over a long-term basis in this modern world today where we're living in, you need to understand the environmental factors that you're fucking operating with, because the odds are stacked up against you.
He is so right again. I give him kudos for that. Notice he said today. The environment of today. He's making great points.
I do not know. I can count on one hand. I know hundreds of fucking people intimately. I can count on one fucking hand, probably a few fingers even, the guys that I know that are in a healthy, productive, long-term committed relationship, living with a chick that are fucking happy, where she treats him well. They love each other into perpetuity, like they're into this state of like bliss sort of thing, like I talked about in the first book. They've surveyed people on this over 8-point-something years, and less than 3% of the people surveyed live in a state of bliss. Which, isn't that what we're sold? is supposed to be where you're at in a long-term relationship when you commit to each other? Isn't that what, you're supposed to get as a reward for abandoning all of the other options that you might have so she can claim you and now you live together? Isn't that supposed to be the reward, is bliss? But only 3%? The other 97% are what? They're fucked? They're living like that, like we just watched? People show up, they come over for the dinner party. Watch the whole movie, it's hilarious. People show up, they come over for the dinner party. Maybe there's some tension in the air between the two of you, but you play it off real fucking well in front of the other people, and they leave and they're like, they're such an amazing couple, I'm envious of them. And then when the door closes and he sits his ass down on the couch, and then she goes in the living room and goes, I'm gonna do the dishes. Okay, do the dishes. Well, it'd be nice if you offered to help to do the dishes. I'll do them later. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. Why can't I relax for a little bit? Well, it's not about the dishes. It's about you wanting to volunteer to, you saw how the whole thing sort of goes from there, right? And that's how it goes. Women today don't know how to be nice to a guy. They just don't. Everything, social influences, media, Hollywood, music, songs, their friends, Cosmo, sitting around getting smashed over, wine and stuff like that, tells them to fucking basically treat most guys like a bag of shit, to shit test you, to see if you're competent enough. And there's not enough of guys out there that are willing to look a woman square in the eyes and just be like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Most guys aren't willing to do that.
I made a video the other day, and I implored you guys that when you're dealing with the woman, you always want to approach that woman with the attitude of, I don't need you. I don't need to talk to you. I don't need to communicate with you. I don't need to mate with you. I don't need to have sex with you. I don't need to have children with you. We can end this conversation in 2 seconds or 2 hours. I couldn't care less. I'll walk away and just be fine. You have to be able to have absolutely no fear whatsoever in telling a woman that, you know what, yeah, it's not working out. Yeah, we're done. And be ready to walk away. Remember the video that I shared with you guys a video?
You're going to have to.
I shared with you guys a video. I told you guys specifically, I said, you never ask a woman to give you her number, right? When you sit down with the woman, right? Always on your way out, just say, hey, look, you want to continue this conversation at a later date? Here's my number. If not, it's fine. Right? But don't be the douche who in front of everybody takes out their phone in front of everybody only for her to say, no, I already got a boyfriend. Don't do that. You started a conversation, she brings out her phone. It's really that simple. So what you're doing is you're communicating the fact that, you know what, whether you call me or not, I don't care, but I don't have your number, so hey, it's up to you now. I don't care. Never ask a woman for her number, ever. If she wants to call you, she'll call you. And if not, fuck her. I don't care. That's the general idea of being ready to walk. I dated a girl. I dated a few girls. I always noticed something about them that I found very interesting. They always acted as if they could take it or leave it. They always acted like as if they could take it or leave it. I always found that very interesting. I found that very fascinating. And at that point in my life, I wasn't quite there yet. No, I'm there now. Yeah, I'm very there. But back then, I learned something from those relationships. Having that take it or leave it attitude is powerful, even when they were so disadvantaged you'd never know it. One of my girlfriends, her name was Danielle. She had a very take it or leave it attitude. She was really good at that. Really good. Really good. Even when she was weak, she was willing to just risk it all and just walk away. I mean, just for anything, whether it was a job, whether it's a relationship, whatever it was, right? She stuck to her guns. A woman needs to know that you're willing to walk away and stick to your guns. We call it what? The shit test, which a lot of guys fail to do. So I find this video very interesting, right? You got to be an asshole. I'm gonna leave you guys on this one. Remember my ex? She would always complain about me not buying her flowers, and we not going out on dates, and so on and so forth, right? Because I was always working, this and that, blah 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 blah. What do I do? Like a dumbass, bought her more flowers, all right? Bought her flowers, went out on dinner dates. Guess what? She found something else to complain about. It wasn't enough. In fact, the flowers and the going out on dates, it actually turned her off. Can you imagine that? She complained that we weren't doing something. I do it. But then I noticed that it didn't have the effect that I thought it was going to have. It had absolutely no effect on the relationship. Right? Sometimes you got to be an asshole. And I totally agree with Rich Cooper on this one. Right? So let me know what you think, right? Do you have the balls to be direct with women? Do you have the balls to not ask a woman for a number? Right? Let me give you one powerful reason why you should never ask a woman for her number, or you give her your number. Now the onus is on her. You have no attachments whatsoever, nothing. If she's going to text you, if she does communicate with you, now you know that she's really interested. Because if you take her number, you don't know she's really interested. She could just be saying, all right, look, I'm just give this dude a number and then I'm going to block him. This is why you don't get a woman's number. Never, ever, 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 ever. You always, what? Give her your number. And she's got to call you at a specific time. So if she takes your number and you tell her to call you at exactly this time at 2 o'clock, and she calls you at 2, that is some high interest right there, right? So we kill two birds with one stone. Let me know what you think, right? Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share button, and give me your comments. Let me know whether or not this is something that you think you can do, all right? Talk to you guys soon. Talk about divorce matters because divorce actually matters. Peace.